Michael, let me begin with you. Can the Fed arrest inflation without tanking the economy?
Very difficult to do, Tyler. The Fed's waited quite a long time to tighten, and now we've got inflation, not just in goods, but frankly, everywhere. It's in services, commodities, you name it, all over the place. So it's going to be a really, really difficult act for the Fed to pull off.
What do you think, Rick? The Fed Chair Powell, given wide acclaim for his response to the pandemic and to the crisis there, he did what I guess you'd say he had to do. In this case, how far behind the curve do you think he is, if you think he is, and can he thread that needle and get inflation down without bringing the economy down?
Well, I think he's behind the curve from the standpoint that they overstayed with respect to the help they gave us to get over the COVID hump when it hit originally in March of 2020. But I think it's very tough to put all the blame on him, but because I think the legislative part of the government also was trying to push a lot of stimulus into the economy. Think some of the bills that they passed. But in the end, I agree with our guests. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to remind me of 2018. He said the right things yesterday, but actions versus actual talk are two different things. And I think that even though there's so many parts of inflation that will reverse, I think car prices, lots of these things are going to be transitory in a bigger time frame than Powell and the Fed thought in the beginning. But labor costs, housing, home equivalent rents, what, 30% of CPI? And that underestimates the real cost of what housing's done. It's a substitute, but at this point, it's still a cheap substitute. Those are all going to be very sticky. As a matter of fact, I think certain parts of the economy that have gone hot, like housing and labor costs, are like a tube of toothpaste. They're not going to be transitory. You're not going to be able to push them back in, but many will be. But in the end, here's the problem, Tyler, is that inflation's going to keep going up. If it just goes to zero, okay, that doesn't mean prices go down.
No.
They stop going up. And I think the chances of seeing this are very limited, and they're never going to, in my opinion, get you back down to where we started. And that's what the American middle class understands. They see these prices and know some of them are going to go down, but is filet mignon going to go down to where it was? No, but it might take back half of the big jump that it had. Beige Book is coming out. There's generally a high degree of optimism. Most districts saw solid growth in prices, and many districts see a somewhat cooling but expect it to reverse, and they were very optimistic to some of the upside to the economy in the last weeks of 2021.